Hey everyone, KW, Artisan of Glimmith. This game just taking forever. So I'm gonna goldify this window. There's a word for that. Guild. Let's see. Ooh, this one looks complicated. Should I start with the fours on the edges here? We got a couple fours on the edge. I might just be overwhelmed by the number of things I'm looking at, and I just need to, grow a pair and do it. So let's start with this. We know that these have to be 4 separate regions. We also know that now this 2, we can't have a new region in here. We also know the shape band. We've got to make this... This has to stay... This can't be a solo unit. So it's either this or it's an elbow piece. Either way, this is taken care of here. But this can't go there. This piece has to bend, come out, then it can't go here. Now the trouble is if I bend this piece into an elbow, so far so good, but then I would have to have 2 separate regions here, which isn't allowed. So this has to be a domino. I don't have any, like 2 dominoes can be next to each other, that's fine. Don't have any rules about that. Whatever piece goes in here is going to have to come out. It's not going to bend, so that's that. This piece here has to be a new region. It cannot be the blue here. So let's make a yellow in the region there. It's got to come out at least once. This one's going to be an interesting... No, hold on. For some reason I thought this... this was dumb. This is just dumb thought by me. I thought this was like already part of one of these regions. No, this is a new region. I can do this. I can't make a separate region here because now I can't make 3 regions in there. So I do have to bring this over and then I have to put a wall at this spot. So, a duh. Now, in here... Let me hold on to this side. I don't have an answer quite yet. Let me put one down here. Make my Windows logo again. Don't actually remember the order the colors are in the Windows logo. I know red, yellow, green, blue in a square pattern is similar to the Windows logo. So I know that these are going to go. We have to bring these out for sure. Now, I can't bend this yellow into an elbow because now I need this piece to come out. So this yellow is a domino. We can make this blue shape come out. We can't bend it because we break that, so that's another domino. So now we know that whatever piece goes here has to come out, so this has to be a regular domino. We just can't do it. We can't bend this in, so we got to block it here. We can bend that one in, but we can't move that way for sure. So I can move this up and have a new piece here, or I can move this over and have hold on, if I move this over, I can't bend this in because now this piece is bad. So that's that. This has to move up. And then we have to have a new piece here, which could easily be this bent up, but I don't know for sure. I can bend this or bring this down. Either way is fine. Just can't do that. Let's do it again over here. Now, we have to bring these out. We can bend. We can't bend this here. Same issue as before. This will have to come out. It will break the watchtower. So this red is complete. This has to come out, and it can't bend. So that's complete. This can't bend. We break that, so that's complete. So I need, in this watchtower with 2, I can only have 1 more region in it, and it must take all 3 of these spots here. So that's that. This must come out. I don't know after that what I do. So that's all I know. I gotta have 3 regions here. There's only one way I can think to do it. I can't have an elbow at any point, so whatever is down here cannot be an elbow, because it will always break this. But if I have a wall here, I will never have 3 regions, because both of these would need to come out. Therefore, these 2 must go together and just be a domino. Then these 2 need to be separate regions, which means whatever goes here has to just be a domino, because if it bends out, we'll have trouble. Right here in River City. So now this region right there has to come out, and it can't bend, so it's got to be its own thing because it would break that. Now we got this. We have to make this an elbow because if we don't, we have 4 regions here. This has to come out. And then we could bring it up or we could have a new region. I'm not totally sure yet. This is done, so we only have 2 regions. This has to be done. Let's see. Do we know any more here? Let's start thinking about what goes in these regions. So I can't bring this orange down because now there would need to be a new, this has to move to the left. And then I need a wall, I need this to be a domino. So I gotta make these happen. This has to come out. It can't go there. So we have a new region there, which is different. It comes out. It could bend up because there's only two. Oh, it knows I'm gonna have to put a separate region there, I guess. Yeah, we can't bend it up because then I would need a new region here. That'd be 3. So these are there. I can bend this in. I can't take this up because if I take this up, what goes down here? This makes the watchtower broken. This makes the watchtower broken. So this does in fact go here, and those have to be dominoes. Now I could bend this in, as far as I'm aware. I have to bring this out. That's just what I have to do. Could I do this? Yeah, I could do that. Let me get rid of this for just a second, and let's work on this little painting here again. All right, red's got to go somewhere because these are all walls. So it's got to move down. That's all we got to do. Blue's got to go somewhere. We have 2 separate regions here. I'm going to turn this guy. So I'm going to make it different than that. Yellow's got to move. Someone's got to move into there. So that's yellow. Now it could also move up, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm going to change this one to orange, maybe. Change to purple. Change to something that isn't this because it might move up into that spot. Just kind of keep it apart from each other. If I bring this down, what happens? There'd be a piece here, it'd be fine. No, it wouldn't. If I bring this down, then since these 2 are separate, what do I do here? Because this can't go there. This can't move across, it's got to move up. We've got to do this. And now we have to move this, we have to move that. Yeah, this has to move up, and then I think we just put in a piece right here. Yeah, that was a neat one. That was neat. I like starting with that one. Yeah, like I had a lot of work to do, but it wasn't crazy hard, but it also wasn't easy. It felt like it was right. It felt the 4 was right. A rare win with the 4. Okay, just a bunch of 3s. Can I ever do this? Make a straight line? I can't make an elbow here, that's for sure. So I either got to make a straight line there or a straight line there. Can I make an elbow here in any way? No. So we've got straight lines in all of these. If I make a straight line going across, right, I force a straight line going across here. So I can't do that. This has to be a straight line going up and down, which means I got to block all of these. Which I got to do that. Then we've got to have solo pieces. Here as well, I can't have an elbow, so this has to be straight up and down. That means this has to be these have to be solo pieces here. Well, that has to be a solo. This can move up. No, it's got to be solo. All right. Anything going here is fine for these regions. This one could only move up, but it couldn't bend. Now here, can I do things? Okay, this can't be an elbow in any way. I can't move up at all. Every version of that will fail, so I have to move this over at least once. It can't cut there, so this has to go all the way across. This is a single. This has to be a single. Can this go? No. So it's got to go across, and then do we just have singles? Yeah. I was probably overthinking that, and it was quite easy. Another, okay, going back to my complaints about the difficulty here. So the devs have some sympathy for it because it's actually really hard to accurately gauge how difficult your own game is. Like, most people get it wrong. And it's always really, really difficult to gauge it in the center. Like, very easy puzzles, you can probably tell when you're making them, this is going to be an easy one. Very hard puzzles, you can probably tell they're going to be very hard. Middle ones are kind of difficult because they tend to exist in this place where you can get lucky and just breeze through them, or you can get very unlucky and not see the answer, which isn't that difficult of an answer. And so both of those cases are not very good cases to be in. But if the game didn't tell me this was a 4 and just had me go at it, I would have said this is a 2. I just would have said this may be a 2, maybe a 3. But because it was a 4, I was expecting more out of it, and I didn't get more out of it. Anyway, all regions must be one of these shapes. Great. So this one right here has got to be part of this shape. We don't know which direction it's going to go from there. This piece right here cannot be part of the 2x3 shape because whatever it does, it will block that. So this has got to be part of this shape here. And this piece right here, this piece right here is also part of this shape, part of the eye. Because if this was a shape, it wouldn't attach to this one, right? It can't attach, there's no way it can be one of the shapes. But it can't attach to that one or it's going to be this shape. So we have two eye shapes to start with. Not sure how they're spaced out here. Now, here is another case. We've got this. 3 shapes in here. So this has got to be one of these. And it's going to take one of these spots. This is a different one. And this one can't move down or left. This one's going to move. It can't move this way. So this one's going to move across here. Then we either do this, or we do this. We can't move this in here. Haha. Good to find out. So we got to do that here. I probably should have started in this corner. This has 3 as well. So this piece can't be the 2x3 right here, because if it's the 2x3, we will have to move up 1 space, which means we'd have to block this, and now we can't make this fit. So this is also an eye shape, and it can go up, it can go across, but either way, this shape is different, and it can't move down or left, otherwise we would have the same issue as before. So if I move this up, well, then how do I fill this in? Because if I do this, now this spot here is nothing we can do with it. Oh. Is it, can I think of it the other way? Because I would want to just do that. I've got to figure out some way to fit pieces in here. And I would want to do it this with this. But then we're going to have a problem there. I could actually be a little smarter and do that. Yeah, this is different from up here. I made the assumption because up here they have to both be eye shapes. They don't have to both be eye shapes here. So I'm going to go back and work through the logic of what I just did so you see what I'm thinking. This piece can't be the 2x3. It has to be the skinny one. Because if it isn't the skinny one, it takes all, right? This piece now cannot be whatever this piece is. But it doesn't have to be a long piece. It could be one of these. All I know is it's going to have this effect. Now, if I move the eye piece to the right, we don't have any way to make a piece in here because we can't make a fat piece. We have to make a skinny one. The skinny one's not going to have enough room to grow. So this has to move up. Then this piece also can't be a fat piece. It has to be a skinny piece. Those two are set. Now I can't make this here. If I make this piece here, now there's no way to fill in this 3 we worked out. Therefore, we have to do this. It could either move this way or that way. Moving this way is not going to work because now we need a skinny piece here and we have 2 regions in the 3 watchtower. So we have to do this and put a wall there. Now, we have a lot of options here so far. I can move this over just fine if I just have a single region there. I can do this just fine and have a single region there. This can be just fine. Can I do anything with this? Like, I can say this is a fat region. Here's how. You just do this, and now we have 2 of these, and it's just totally fine, right? So, I just know it's not even like it has to have a fat region in it anywhere. I can do it again with this, right? No. I don't think I can take these 2. Unless I went that way. No. Well, I should think with these 2s that we're either going to have a wall like this or a wall like that. They have to do that because we can't have a bend like this because we'll never have this shape happen. So if I put walls in like this, I would have to have this shape. Then I would have to have that shape. So far, I don't see why that's busted. Yeah, I don't see why that's busted immediately. If I do it this way, I Could just bring this shape over, or I could have that shape. Either one is totally fine. Can I do the same thing with this? If I put this here, I don't see a restriction. I wouldn't be able to put, if I put this wall here, I would have to make this a skinny piece. Because if it's not a skinny piece, then it has to take these 6. And now, how do I fill this in? Yeah, I wouldn't be able to fill this in because I couldn't make this this has to be it has to be a wall here. This has to be a skinny piece going up. Now this blocks in that piece there. There you go. That's how you do that. So if I put a wall here, I have to make this a skinny piece that goes down, which means I can't put a skinny piece going down here. I would have to make this like so, and then I have to put a wall here. And it just feels like I'm making way too many moves in the future to figure this out. I shouldn't have to, like, there's a sort of cold, hard logic to the idea that you make a puzzle where you have to work out every step in advance. You have to see that far in the future to solve. I don't think that's a good puzzle, but you can do that. I think that if we're going to trust this is a good puzzle, I should not have to see 40 moves into the future to know the answer to something. I should be able to logically work it out without doing what I'm doing. It's possible to make these watchtowers without using any fat shapes. It is possible. How would I do it here? I mean, this is how I do it here. Even the other way works. Well, not up here, though. Just down with this. Maybe we should think about this piece. This piece, it can move up. We can have 2 like that. Can I ever have a wall here? If I had a wall there, it wouldn't tell me anything. If I did this, if I just said this piece moves up, now this one has to move up and down. And it has to move up here, because if it doesn't, then who moves into that spot, right? Well, let's have a problem. So we would have to do this. And this doesn't help me at all. If I said I moved it in this way, we now have to move like so, which doesn't do much. This would be required. And now we would have to put these 2 together, but there's nothing that says they have to be part of this or not. I don't know. This one kind of just feels like you have to see really far into the future. Like, what is going on? Is there something going... Like, I got this stuff worked out. This is fine, but I'm now looking to see what else there is, and I'm really hoping it isn't see 20 steps in the future, because that's really boring. These have to be different. There's got to be something with this. If I made this a skinny shape, I'd have to do this. I'd have to make these. And now I still have a lot of options down here. Like, I could do it this way. I couldn't do this, actually. I couldn't do this because it can't have just the corner. So I'd have to make it like this. But this is fine. This is just totally fine. And the trouble with making something that's totally fine is unless I know that this is the answer, it's possible this is wrong. It's possible that I just have this wrong. But there's no way to know because this works just fine. Now here would have to be a purple shape if I did it this way. And it could move like so. I don't think it could move this way. If it moved this way, these 2 would have to be different shapes, which means we'd have to go up here, and now we can't make this shape work. So we'd have to move it up like so. And we could just do this. And now we just have this shape going in here. It's all working out. That's the thing. It just works, but it's not like great. This isn't going to work now. So that's not going to work. If I said this isn't going to work either. See, look how far I have to get into this to figure out this doesn't work. Look how far into the puzzle I have to go with this particular strategy. So there has to be, if we're assuming that these designers aren't incompetent, which we have to assume, then there has to be another way to know what step to take. This is unacceptable in puzzle solving, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it because this is what I see to do, and I don't see the answer I'm supposed to do. That gets very frustrating after a while. If you want me to find the right answer, you have to make the wrong answers harder. I guess, no, how do I say that? You have to make it less attractive for me to pick a spot and go, right? Picking a spot and going looks like the correct answer to me, and I know that can't be it. So I have to find something that is. You got to show it to me, guys. If I move this in, can I break the puzzle by moving this up? Well, then this has to be, this wouldn't be able to be one of these pieces because we have to take all those. So this would have to be like so, which means this is a different piece than that. And it's either this, we can do that. I mean, we can now put a piece up here just fine, but this isn't telling me anything. This isn't telling me anything about the puzzle. This piece has to be different. I guess if I moved this piece up, this would be broken, because we can't do that. So, but it can go this way. Now, if it was this, it would be broken. I suppose that's the step. That's the step I need to find. This does need to be. So this was correct. This was exactly correct. So this here was exact. I did this exactly this, and it was fine. So in this spot, since I broke the puzzle by doing this, what if I did this instead? I would still need. One thing about this: if I have a purple piece here now, it goes across, which is going to force me to do that. And if I have a blue piece here, it's going to force me to put a purple one there. So no matter what, I have a purple piece here. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. So this is all the same. This is all the same. And now, if I put this piece here, then I can't fit. I'd have to fit this here, which is fine. Which would be like this. No, this is broken. Yeah, if I put this piece here, we can't put purple pieces down here. It'd have to be the blue, which means we'd have to do blue here, because we can't do purple going up and down this way or across. But now this 3 is busted because we can't put a piece in there. So from that, it's the same thing I had before. I can't put purple pieces here because you can't just have the corner. So this is what I had before. So again, now I've worked out that this is right, which was a guess before. So it now feels less like a victory because I just did this. It would feel like a victory if I had been led to this a little bit more easily, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of puzzle designers who do this thing where they feel so clever when they make a puzzle that is so broad and open that it's hard to find your way in. The trouble with that is, unless someone happens to catch your exact thought process in making the puzzle, they're going to have a less good time getting into it. You know what I mean? Like, if I got lucky, I would love this puzzle, and I'm unlucky, so I don't. So, like, I don't know. It's just broad open puzzles are extremely risky to design because unless someone catches your logic train, you lose. So now from here, I can bring this over? No. I can't bring this over, so we worked that out. If I bring a piece over like this, then I have to have 2 pieces here. We would have this go on. Now we have 3 up in that zone, so we can't do that. Could we bring it up? Well, now we'd have to have 2 pieces like this, and we have the same issue here. No, we don't have the same issue there. I just can't, I have to have a purple piece. This can't be blue because then I would do that. So it has to move up. Then we have to make this separate, which makes these 2, meaning this spot is a new piece and it has got to move this way. So now we got to bring this in. So this is exactly where we were before. So that means something else in here. So I guessed my way into this, which didn't feel good. And now that I've logicked my way into it, it doesn't feel good because it's the same as the guess. This happens a lot in this game. And at a certain point, you just have to say, if it keeps happening, you have to stop blaming the players if it just keeps happening. So let's work out. If I move this piece over, I now have to put in, I could do it this way, or I could put, well, no, I can't ever put a blue piece here. Or a new piece, sorry, new blue piece here. Like this, right? Nor can I put a blue piece here. I can't put one here because either it goes this way, it breaks that one, or it goes up and it breaks this one because you'll have to have one corner thing there. So this has to be purple. It's got to move up. That's got to be purple. So how on earth do I fill this? I think I see it now. I think I just see the answer, which is really unsatisfying way to do puzzles. Like that. Yeah, that was just like, there's nothing like wrong with this puzzle. I just had a bad time. It's not wrong. It's just there's a lot of puzzles with this design where it just feels like there are so many open routes to take, and they're so easy to take that the game is deliberately giving me a path to a worse experience. And then, of course, I feel like the asshole, because if I say it's bad, somebody else will come along who says it's good, and it's just going to say, well, you were too stupid. If you were less of a stupid idiot, you would have enjoyed it more. But it's like the game is giving me this. Like the way this game is set up, it wants me to jump around randomly because it's open world. It has some tutorial puzzles at the beginning of every space, but it only tutorializes what the rules mean. It doesn't tutorialize how to logically like put rules together, right? It just tells you what it means. And so you can go in any order, which means if I was supposed to do a different puzzle first, that would help me with this one. I have no idea what that would be. So I'm jumping around, and the only thing guiding me is the difficulty numbers, which we've established are almost always incorrect. And so you can't blame the player for having a bad time if you make the marked path a bad time. Like, if there's a secret path to make this game more fun to play, it's harder to find than the other one. That's just what I'm running into, and it's a weird problem to have because it isn't a case where the game is just bad. The stuff in here is, for the most part, good, but it's presented in a way that unless you happen to grok exactly what the developers were thinking at every moment, you will be led astray into doing this wrong. And that is what is so frustrating, is that I feel like I am not giving this game the respect it deserves, but the game is not giving me the respect I deserve. We just end up in this adversarial relationship where I get these puzzles that I think I should like, and then I don't, and I can't figure out why. Right, how about you? This has to be here, that's got to be there. That for sure. That's stuff that's tutorialized from the rules. But beyond that, what do we do? Non-boxy. So we got to make at least 3. This piece has to come out. It could bend here, but it could always bend somewhere else. It could always bend down there. We don't know. This is the same deal. It's got to bend somewhere. Okay. I know I've got new pieces there and there. We've got to have something different, but there's nothing to say which direction they go. If I were to bend this end, what does that mean? This is another case where it looks like, immediately, the first thing I look at as I go, I don't see the way in, which is not wrong. It's just that at some point you have to give me the path that you want. Like, you have to set that path to me. And so it's okay if it's not immediate, but I do need to see it eventually before the guessing starts. So if it really looks like I have to guess, it really looks like I have to say, what if I did this? What if I did that? Where would be the way I figure out that I shouldn't guess? Can't be doing that. If I bend this in, that's that. I can't go any further. I can't go there. So this definitely is a new section, but I don't know which one it is. Well, I know this can't go down because we would have boxy regions, but like that's not much of a restriction. I can still move it here and bend. Huh. There might also be like what I was just talking about, tutorializing the game. So there's two types of tutorials in puzzle games. Tutorial type A is just, here is what the rule is. That's what it means. And type B is, here is how I teach you how to process that rule. And most puzzle games do this just fine. This game is really good at the first one. I've learned very well what it means to have 3 regions here. Obviously, I'm breaking this rule, but this is 3 regions around the watchtower. That I know. But there might be like corollaries you get from this rule that I might understand better if I were to research this type of puzzle outside the game. Or I would understand better if I approached the puzzles in a different order. Or I would understand better if I just wasn't such a lazy, stupid idiot. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. And this game, at least from the experience I've had, is genuinely dog shit at teaching that stuff. Like tetrominoes, pentominoes. Think of those. My knowledge of tetrominoes and pentominoes, right? I know that tetrominoes spell out this phrase, I lost, right? I don't know that because of this game. I know that because of another game. So if I walked into this game not knowing anything about tetrominoes, I might struggle a little bit more, and the game doesn't seem to teach what that is. Now, it might do a little bit of that. What's harder is the pentominoes because there's like 12 of those. And so getting to that knowledge, it's like the game doesn't specifically teach it. Even though nothing says the game has to. But like, if you want me to know certain things and understand certain things going into a puzzle and you don't teach them, then either I'm just going to feel like an idiot or I have to go do homework, which I'm not going to do. I'm just not going to do that. So is that what I'm looking at here? I've been talking about it instead of solving, which obviously just makes it worse. But I'm looking at it going, is there something I should look at here that I would understand? And I don't see that. Is it this spot here? Like I see there's a corner thing here that could mean something. All I know is that all of these have to be different, right? These all have to be different things. Is that it? Is that what it has to be? Am I supposed to come to that knowledge now, or did I need to learn it in a different puzzle and then apply that knowledge here? What am I supposed to do? Like, yeah, these two are different. Now, they don't have to be, right? You can always do something like this in a puzzle. Not this particular puzzle. So, like, you can't just say corners are always different shapes. You can only say they're different shapes when you have these other things going on. But these two are going to be different. They can't be the same shape. But then these two also have to be different. But what's preventing that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just different. And then this is also different. And then these two are different, but we can always make this. So this just isn't that helpful to me. Huh. How like I can bring these in. The non-boxy's got to be doing something for me, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. Yeah, this is kind of frustrating because I just don't see it. And I'm sure there's puzzle enthusiasts, puzzle purists out there going like, you can't complain about that. You just need to be smarter. And I'm like, I guess, but like that doesn't help me now. Like I could look back in 6 years upon this playthrough and go, oh, what a stupid idiot. If only I'd known how non-boxy and Watchtower work together. But it's too late. Like I'm already looking at this puzzle and just immediately disliking it. And I think the reason I'm disliking it as well is not so much, oh, I can't solve this puzzle, it's bad. It's more like I feel like I should be able to because I've solved so many other puzzles in the game. I feel like I should have something to approach this, and I'm searching my own brain and finding nothing. So the only options are, one, the devs fucked up, which I don't like that, or two, I'm just stupid. And if a game ever makes me say to myself, I'm just stupid, and I mean sincerely, not the sort of, I'm so stupid I missed that one, haha, it's funny. If I genuinely feel stupid, why am I playing your game? Why would I play a game if you're making me feel stupid? So I'm looking at this going, it looks like something I should know, and it isn't. What is it? I'm just going to start guessing. I'm doing it because I've been looking at this now. I don't see the break-in. So I'm going to guess. We're going to guess this is it. Now, these are two separate regions. This is a terrible way to solve puzzles. We're guessing. We're just doing that. This has to move out. We have to have non-boxy. Okay, we have to move this out. This piece can still move. This piece can move here. We get nothing from that. We get nothing from that. That's just a guess. All right, how about we said if we say this happens, we have to bring this down, and now we can't bend it here because of that, so we have to bring it down again. But we could bend it here, and now we have two separate regions there. This would have to come out around like this. This would have to bring out at least, and then it wouldn't be able to go there, but it could bend here or move out. We still don't get much from that. I could say this bends all the way at the bottom. Now these would be different regions. This could be the same region as that, but it's different from this one. These can go together, but this would have to come out, which would mean this would have to come up. And then it wouldn't be able to go there, so it would have to bend. This is getting me somewhere. But this, again, I'm guessing until I get there. This now has to go here. This has to be a different region. This could go here and then bend. We don't know. This now has to move up. This has to be this region, and it's got to bend somewhere, and it can't be there, so it's there. This can't bend up, so we have a new region here, which has to come out. This has to be a new region there. This has got to bend here. This has to bend there. Now this is fine. Okay, so like this is so unsatisfying because I'm getting somewhere, or at least I think I am. I could be wrong and have to start over. But I'm getting somewhere because I guessed it. Because I totally guessed it and I had no idea why I should have done what I did. If this happened once or twice in a game, that's fine. If it happens once or twice. Okay, so I can't do this. This doesn't work. So the guess doesn't work. I'm gonna have to start over now. Okay. I can't do that. I'm gonna work this out again. I cannot do this because I'm not sure I guessed this right. The reason I cannot do this now, right, is that these two pieces must be different. This piece cannot be boxy, so it's gonna have to move. This piece can't move now because it won't be 3 spaces. It's got to move up. Can't move up because it'll be 3, so it's got to bend somewhere. This can't move up, has to bend. It could move over, but we don't know that yet. This now has to be a new region. Make it greener than that. This has to come out because we can't have a boxy region. This piece right here, whatever it is, cannot move to the right to break the watchtower. It's got to move somewhere because it's got to bend somewhere, so that's where it's going to go. This piece can't move up. That's that. Now we have a new region right here, which has to escape somewhere. It can't bend up. So this is now a different region. It's got to go here. It's got to bend at least once. Over here, we got to bring it out at least this far. This piece has to bend somewhere, so this one's done. This can't move here, so that one is done. This can't move there, so that's done. So this could move in if we want. If I move this in, so now I guess this can't move over. It has to bend somewhere, so that's that. This has to be a new region. This still has to be non-boxy, so it's got to move over. It can't bend up, so now this can't be its own. It's got to be that region. This can't go down. This got to be here. This has to be a new region. Great. This has to come out. It can't bend here. That can't bend there. There we go. We've worked out that. Why do I have to do the whole puzzle? There's got to be something. I'm sure you are smarter than me. You're watching this. You said key of W, you dumb, thick moron. The answer was this one right here. It tells you that you can only do... It doesn't matter. I can't see that. The game has given me no way to see this. That's all I can say. I'm too stupid. The game isn't willing to help me. The end. We're guessing our way through this puzzle. So we can't bring this down all the way, which means, yeah, if we bring this down to here, we have that. So that means I have to, this is the maximum I can extend this piece. Well, if I take it this direction, now I got 2 pieces down here. So I got to move this at least that far. This piece has to come at least that far, and it can't bend up. Could move this way as far as we know. Now, these two have to be separate pieces. We're going to have the same deal going on as before. This can't move that way. It's going to have to bend somewhere. That means we have a new piece here. Green. It's going to move out. It means this got to be a new piece. We're going to take it around this way. So we have a very similar problem as before, I think. This one's got to come down. Now, this piece has to bend somewhere, so this one can't move there. This one can't move that way. This piece has to bend somewhere. Now we have all 3 of these in. This one could move down. This one could move over or down. This one now I have a little bit more options. This could move. One of these 2 is different, but I don't know which one. I could move this out. But what would be the point of doing that? Oh, hold on. If I made this a separate region, then it would have to move out. And then it couldn't bend either way, so it'd have to go like that. And now this is a new region. Yeah, so I can't do this. This has to bend. Great, cool. Now we know this is a thing. This has to be a different region, and it can't be that one. So it is a new region here. It has to go this direction and has to bend somewhere. I'm gonna make it orange for a second. This has to bend somewhere. This can't bend in, so it's got to bend here, and now we have a problem there. Can't do anything. Cool. Guessed our way there. So now I know that doesn't happen. So I can't bring this down that far like What if it's just this? It's gotta be different. That's gotta go. Well, if I bring this over, I don't know, let's see. Bring this down. We have a similar issue with this sort of thing. If I bring this over, I would have to bring it all the way over here. So I feel like I'm guessing again. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way on this, and I haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it. And if this was the only puzzle that happened, it's just frustrating, I move on. But this happens so often in this game. It happens so often that the only two conclusions are either the designers just don't care that this is what you do with your puzzles, or I am stupid. And I don't mean stupid in the tee-hee sense, like I just didn't get it. Like literally stupid. I don't want to play games that make me feel stupid. Do you understand? Does that make sense to you? Like, I've played a lot of puzzle games. I've never, ever felt as stupid as I do playing this one. How is that possible? I don't know where this goes. I'm going to assume this. Here, I'm just going to assume that, which means I either bring that up. That doesn't help. I'm going to assume... let's say this bends. If that bends, we might have the same issue as before. Where now this is a different thing. This has to move out. And then it's got to bend, but it can't bend there, so it'd have to be like this. This would have to bend in or be a different shape. Neither of the... oh, that could just go there. It's fine. This can't go there, so it'd have to bend here. This has to be a different shape. This has to find a spot to bend. Can't bend up. You go there or there. This can't go across now. It's got to bend somewhere. Can't be there, so it has to be there. This has to go down there. This has to be a new shape. That would be that. This is here. Can't go there. It's got to bend there. And now we've broken it. So, but the way I broke it is I made an assumption over here. I really hate this. I just hate this so much. And again, it's not a 7. That's the thing is, I am personally experiencing 7 on this puzzle. I am personally experiencing a very difficult puzzle, and the game is telling me it's not difficult, which means it's telling me I'm stupid. If I just walked in and I didn't see this, I would just assume it just must be one of the hard ones. But I can't assume that. Now, 5 isn't easy, but like, I just genuinely feel like I have nowhere to go with this. If there is something about this pattern which is telling me something, either there's 2 options now. Option 1, the game has given me the information I need to do this logically. But if that's the case, I'm either so stupid I can't, and I say this with derision, I am either so stupid this doesn't work, or the game has not presented the information in a way that I can learn it. If we accept the option that the game has in fact taught me how to solve this puzzle. If it hasn't though, then how am I expected to do this? Am I supposed to bring outside knowledge in? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to guess my way through this? Is there something really simple I'm missing? That's the other thing. Is there something simple I'm missing? There must be. I think I know how this rule works. I think I know how they work, but I'm not getting it. I just do not get it. And it is not in the fun, interesting way where I think, wow, this puzzle's just too clever for me. It is not. There's nothing about this that is interesting enough for me to feel happy about being bamboozled. I just feel like I'm trying to solve a 400,000 piece puzzle. At some point I'll get it, but god damn it, I'm going to hate it. There's no reason to do this. I cannot for the life of me figure out what this is doing. If I were to have these 2 pieces together, would that break the puzzle? I'm just guessing. Again, I'm just guessing. I'm not doing anything but guessing. Put stuff in here. These would all be different. There's still nothing from this. I have so many options if I do that. I know that these are different. I know those, but that's all. What if these 2 are the same? I have to have shapes here, but that doesn't give me anything. If I bring this over, again, this is not getting me anywhere. This is just not getting me anywhere. If I bring this down, so this is the guess I had before, but now if I take this thing down instead of over, I have to bring that out. Because this has to be a different thing, and it couldn't move over, so it has to be the red one now, and it can't move over there. It's got to bend here, which means this has to be a different shape. This has to be a different shape. That's got to bend there. This can't bend down. It can't bend up. This could bend down. It can't go across because then we have that, so it would have to bend down. It means we have to have this going on. It means that has to go on. It means we have this again. And then I think we have the problem here. Because now this has to be a different unit. And we have that. So all of that work for nothing. All that work for nothing. Great, great. Again, let's just do it again. We're just going to try again. Maybe I should just do this because I'm wasting your time. I'm wasting your time with this awful bullshit. Like, I've played other big open world puzzle games, whatever, and usually by the time you get here, you've experienced enough of the rule and enough of like the utilization of it that you're already in the frame of mind the developers want you to be to look at this and know what you're supposed to do. But I don't have that. I don't have it. And it is either because I am literally functionally unable to understand basic logic, or the developers have not designed this to be solved at this point in the game. But what else is there to learn? What else is there to learn? This stuff keeps happening. I keep running into puzzles that feel like this. And it does not matter. I don't want to see any asshole comments from people going, actually, here was the brilliant answer to the puzzle. If you'd noticed at minute 27, 40, second 42, the cell over, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is I am here now not liking it. That is the only thing that matters. And like, I'm okay with a puzzle that takes me half an hour to solve, if I feel like I am making progress and that there is something to look at in the puzzle that I understand. This is not understanding. This move I made right here. This much I understand. This is an understanding move. I would feel good about this move. I don't feel good about this move because I don't understand why it is right or wrong. I don't know that yet. So where am I supposed to look? Where am I supposed to look here? This doesn't give me anything. So congratulations, designers. Give yourselves a round of applause. Look how good you are at making hard puzzles. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys just suck so bad. I'm just starting to dislike these people. Like, it just keeps happening. Over and over and over, I run into this issue. And I bet the designers are congratulating themselves going, well, that's just because we're so good at puzzles that some people are just too stupid. This was an issue in Islands of Insight, but far, far less pronounced, so it never really pissed me off in that game. But these devs have a history of being just giving me this bullshit. All right. Here, I'm gonna make this move right here. There we go. We're gonna say this has to happen. I don't know why, but we're gonna say this has to happen now. Okay. I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I just don't want to deal with them. We're going to get through the game. We're going to finally get to the end. Maybe the 6s and 7s will be better. The end of the game will be more fun, but we'll get through this bullshit. And I'll give it the review it deserves, which is no better than 2 out of 5. Best case scenario, 2 out of 5. I'm just fucking done with them. They've worn out the welcome. You can only troll me so many times before I start to dislike you. You can only put so much of this, like, even if this puzzle had a logical thing I could find, would it be worth it? Would this puzzle be worth this? No. I'm just getting on tilt for this. I wouldn't be so mad if I just blazed through it and just skipped it, but I'm just letting myself get really mad at this game for puzzles like this. All right, well, if we do this, we have to have a separate piece. Again, we're just guessing. If we do this, then we have to do that. That is not a good way to make puzzles. I can't bend. I have to have a new piece here. You see, like, once I make a guess, I can logically extrapolate what would happen there, but I have to start with a guess. I have to. I do not see a way in this puzzle that you don't start with a guess. What on earth is wrong with you people? Do you know how to make video games? All right. This really hasn't helped me at all. This guess is completely useless to me. It's just leading me down. You have to try every single thing. Like if I try this thing here, well, now I have to try, see what happens with that. Well, that's got to happen for sure. This has got to happen. We can't bend it here. We can't bend that. So this has got to come out. Does it bend here? No. So then I think we've worked out this stuff isn't going to happen. It's going to say that there's a mistake, and I can't put that there. So I'm just going to say, there we go. We're just going to make that the thing. We're going to say this is that. You got a piece there, and then this has to be a new region there. So now this is going to have to come out. It could bend if we want. Does this come down? Does this come over? I'm going to say, does this come over? Yeah, that comes over. Great. Awesome. How do I know this? I don't know. I don't know how I know this. It's just a fucking puzzle. Who gives a shit? That can come down, so that's done. Does that come over? This has to come down. Does it move over? We don't know. Nobody knows. Does it ever, everything so far is correct? I don't know why. I don't see why. I'm putting stuff in and I don't see it. I think that's just a failure of design. I would be less angry if I had just noticed this was a failure of a puzzle immediately and just skipped it. It's just, how is it like this? I've played other puzzle games with similar issues, but this one makes it bad by being so long. Other games that have puzzles like this are usually much shorter. So you don't have as much time to sit there and feel like a stupid fucking idiot as you play. You just end up getting, you just push through it. This, I can't push through it. There's hundreds of these. All right. Does this move over? Here, I'm just gonna say, yeah, okay, this moves over, great. I'm cheating. I don't care. I just don't care. I just think the person who designed this shouldn't be allowed the gratifying experience of having someone play their puzzle. I think they should be denied that experience. That's got to move out, and it can't be part of that. So we do have to bend this. This can't bend there. It's got to bend somewhere. This has come down or out. This has got to bend somewhere. This has got to come out. Does this go across? Do we know? Does anyone care? That can't go there, so that's done. But I don't see why I don't just do, like, what if I bring this all the way down? This is a what if. What if I do this? What if I do this? What's the worst that could happen? This piece would have to come down, so no. So I can't bring that down. This has to come across, and it's going to say this is correct. Great, it says it's correct. Perfect. Now these two are separate. So that's got to come down. It's got to come down again and bend, because these have to be two separate things. Is it this one? It's this one? It's this one? Great, cool. Move on. I don't get it. Like, how is it just, it's endless. It's endless. And it ruins my time. I can do 45 good puzzles and then have one that just absolutely ruins my day. And that didn't take longer than other hard puzzles. I've had hard puzzles take longer. It's just, I just, every step of the way is a guess. And the game has the audacity to sit and tell me, no, you can logically work out all of them. Like, with what? With what? I'm so done with these people. All right, so these are the gimmies. Dead end doesn't tell me much. They're all 5s. This piece here has to take one of these two. And only one of these two, which means it has to take both of those. And that one. So this shape here is to go in one of those spots. That means this is a separate region. And it can't take either of those two. Or it can't take either of them because this will take one and it'll be a separate piece on the other. So it's got to be like that. This has two. We got... I can't move this down because then we don't have a corner. So we got to block this here. We got to make a separate region for a corner. Which means it's got to fill in this space. If this space isn't red, then what is it? We'd move it up and it doesn't have space, or it overloads. This is called logic. This is how you progress through a puzzle. This could move. If this moves over, it could do this just fine. It could take all these spaces. If it doesn't, now we're in trouble. This red space can't move left because now there's no way to grab both of these. So the red does have to move to the right. Now, we could have this, or we could have that. Not 100% sure yet. All I know is nothing. All I know is if I don't take Hold on. I do have to take this piece. I do know that. I know it in fact. This is how it goes. Great. Awesome. This piece is now set. We've got two separate regions here. Let's make it yellow so it's more obvious. These are two separate regions. So these two have to be the same region, but are they both this purple one? We don't know. This one's done. So whatever region goes up here has got to take both of these spots and not this one, because this has to be a new region. This yellow region cannot connect up here anymore. So if it moves up, we're in trouble. If this yellow region moves up, here's why we're in trouble. If we move, yeah, this red region is now going to have to move down to escape, because it can't just fill those forward. Have to move down. At the very least, it could be this shape or it could be that shape. But now this shape can't move to the right, which means it doesn't have enough space to go. Therefore, this piece doesn't move there. See what I mean? Like, this is a totally different experience. This puzzle, of course it's feeling easier. And the reason it is easier is because I am making progress. So that is not really much of a thing. Perhaps you struggled on this puzzle, perhaps you didn't. But you can see, like, I was able to get into this puzzle, make a couple inferences, and start working. So even if this were to take me an hour, which it won't because it's a small enough puzzle, I would be happier solving this for an hour than I would the previous puzzle for 5 nanoseconds, because I have something I can work with here. So I can move this up, but I can't move it up very far, so I have to move it down at least there. Means that's got to move down. This could move further, or it could be a Y shape. We don't really know. Either way, this is a new shape, right? This piece right here. Now, can this piece not be part of red? Well, it's got to move this direction. If this isn't the red shape, it moves this way, and now red has nowhere to go. So this is part of red, and it must be this shape. That is how that works. This shape must take there. I'm going to make this one purple again. We'll see. It might be that one. But I have to move it up. Because if I don't move it up, it moves out, and now nobody fits up there. It moves there. It also has to take this shape right here. Because if it doesn't, we create an orphan cell again. So we have to take all 4 of these, and then perhaps that shape. Because it could move down, or it could move over. We don't know. All right, this straightaway I've been ignoring. We either move it up like this or sideways. Either way, it has to take 2 pieces out of this watchtower, which means, of course, this is a separate one, separate piece, which doesn't move into the shape at all. And then the other piece I don't know. Don't really have much from that. Let's see. If I moved this piece down, now I have the interesting task of I'd have to fill all of these in, right? It could easily be that, though. Right, I can easily do this. Doesn't seem to be, that's not restrictive enough. If I moved this piece over, this would have to go. I could, if this is just possible, though. Let me think about this lower corner now. So if this green moves down, what happens now? If I move this green piece down, I obviously can't move there, but I can't, like, I'd have to leave space open here. So it has to move up into this area at some space. Hold on, we don't know about that. If I do this, like if I put a wall here for green, I would have to move up into this space. This so far actually works out fine. No, it doesn't, because now this is all taken. So I can't move. I have to move the green up. So these are the 2 shapes that are here. But this could be that shape, though. Huh. See, I like this. I'm stuck now, but I'm not really stuck. But I'm stuck now. I have to think about it. But I know what I'm thinking about, and I know where to look. I'm not just looking at a bunch of buttons on the screen with a guess of where to go. I don't know. Even when I'm having a good puzzle, I'm having a bad time because I'm just thinking about how much of a failure it was to go through what I did before. It's unbelievable. Now, if I bring it this way, I have some restrictions now. this gives me quite a bit of restriction, actually. If I bring this sideways, now what do I put into this area? I certainly can't move up, because now I cut this off, so I'd have to do that. So I could bring this over here, but either way, this piece now has to go somewhere. And if it's not part of the teal, we're in trouble, if this is a new shape. Or even if it's that. So it would have to be part of the teal shape, if I brought this sideways, which means what? It would cause some restrictions here. Would it though? I think it would just solve the puzzle. Hold on, I'm going to try something. I probably don't have the vision to look far enough ahead. But if I... Oh, right, hold on, sorry, the other way. No, I would have to... Okay, so I couldn't do... These two couldn't be the same shape, right? If these were the same shape, now, there has to be a piece that isn't a part of it, right? So it's either going to connect like this, and then I don't have space up here for anything. Let's think about it that way. Let me get rid of this for just a second. Let me think smarter. If these two are the same shape, right? They connect this way or that way, but not both. Connecting this way means I have to do this, and now I have to make a long shape here that doesn't go straight down. It doesn't bend to the right because now I have this problem, so it would bend to the left. Bending to the left means I'd have a shape down here. My straightaway would still be like this. And I'm screwed. I have nowhere to put this green shape. So I can't bend it that way. And I can't bend it this way. The reason I can't bend it this way is now... I could probably bend it this way, right? This gives me actually a little bit more to work with. Yeah. Ah, this is why. Now I can't make this work. I can't make this work either, because there's nowhere to bring the green. So, I think what I can get from that is... These are, in fact, two different shapes. And I can't... Oh, we already worked out I can't put the wall here. Did I reason out why? I can't do this. I can do this. Nah. Right. If I bring this over here, the furthest down I go, I'd have to take both of these, because I can't have a wall here now. I would have to take both of those. So that would be here, or that would be there. I could take all of them. And now if I take both of these, I can't fill in unless I do this. Yeah, I can't take this out. This is not going to work. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that doesn't work before I go any further. All right, I got it. This goes here. This goes up. This can't move over. There's probably an easier way to figure this out that I don't see. So, do I move this out? No. Right, because the green's going to have to move in this direction somewhere, since blue has to move that way. If I put a wall here, then green has nowhere to go. Therefore, blue's going to move that way. Green is going to take this spot, because if we don't, everything's fine. So maybe it doesn't. I think this isn't going to work, though. Yeah, this isn't going to work, because where does blue go? Blue can't bend here, and it can't go through here, because now we have this weird space that doesn't work. So... I think green's got to take that spot. Now, could it take both of these? I don't think it could take both of these, because now, yeah. So it's not going to take, so maybe blue takes both of those. No, blue can't take both of those. Purple, no. Oh yeah, hold on. If purple were to take this cell, we have to do this, and this isn't going to work, for the reasons we have outlined before. So I think I know the purple. I just know that. I should have known that one earlier. I should have cut that one. So here, these two have to be the same cell. Now if it was green, can I make this work at all? It wouldn't be that. It would either be this piece or that piece. I think we've worked out we don't have a plan with that. So this way would not be any better. Therefore, this is not green. So if it's not blue, this isn't going to work. Yeah, if this isn't blue and it's not green, what is this? I can't do this shape. This is as far down as I could go here, so I'd have to do that, yeah. So, like, this shape doesn't really work for me, though. Does it? No, this shape just barely works. So now let's get this going. Here, here. And yeah, that was it. That was just right there the whole time. Got it. That was a lot more fun. It was hard, but it was a lot more fun because I had something to work with. I just don't... Now, when you're making puzzles, obviously, you're not going to win all of them. You cannot have every puzzle be the most fun to play. But there are so many that I just do not get. To the point where I'm just embarrassed to play. And you get to watch the meltdown. I'm sure you all love that. So anyway, these all got to be separate regions here. Because can't go over 6. This is always possible. I mean, it's not possible. I mean, the corner's possible like this. We just can't leave an orphan cell. So yeah, yellow can't move into there. That's for sure. Can red move into there? It would have to be that, which would be a problem. So no, this has got to be a separate unit. It says blue, it's got to take that spot. And at least that spot. We only care about... Yeah, we don't care about like what shapes are next to each other. There's just got to be palaces, watchtowers in this. Yeah, this watchtower is extremely hit or miss because sometimes I just don't get it. And the game is just completely unconcerned with helping. Huh. This has got to be part of red or yellow. That's for sure. It's going to be one of those two. But I don't know which one. If I could work out which one, I'd be in good hands here. How about this shape? Hang in more. Oh, hold on a second. We got one down here we should be able to work with. I should be able to work with this shape. This would be a disaster move for the cyan because now we would have nowhere to go. So that's got to be blocked, which means you have to come around it. So this has to come out. We have another here. All right, let's assume... okay, whatever piece is here, right, has to move up and out. It's now part of this, but it's too small, so it's got to bend here, become the green, and it's got to move here. That's a corner piece. It's got to move this way. That piece is taken care of. Now, we have 3 already. If I move into here, it would complete the structure. Actually, if I moved into here, I think I'd break it, right? Because if I move here, I have to have one wall. If I have it on the top, I have an orphan cell. If I have it on the bottom, I have not enough cells down here, or too many cells for this piece. If I have it on the side, I create an orphan here. So I got to block that there. This has to be a new piece that takes all of those, which means the 6 is here. This is the 6. We're good. So now, this blue can't take all of these. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. It was right here the whole time. Right here the whole time. I just wasn't looking. I can't take this with red. Because then what do I put there? Haha! So red's got to take at least one of those, means yellow has to take those. Blue's got to take that. There's your red. Excuse me. How rude. Whatever pieces in here has got to come out. Don't know what to do from there. I can bring this up here. Actually, I have to. If I put a wall here, then I have to have a new piece there, which has a wall there, and it can't escape. Therefore, that is the cyan place. Make a regular blue here, and it can bend up. And then we're going to put a purple there. It's got to go somewhere. This has to go up. This, that's that. That's the piece. There, it's got to take all those shapes and the dead end. And I think we have it from here. There, that's a nice one. I like that one. That's a good puzzle. 7 is looking at me funny. Okay, let's do a 5. Let's hope this is good. So yeah, this is a lot of stuff to look at, but it doesn't look nearly so stupid as the other one. I'm going to be mad about that other puzzle all day. I can't seem to get through a session of this game without running into at least one puzzle that makes my blood boil. And I don't think that's good look on the game. We can't say, wow, this game sure is hard. Haha, it makes you mad. No, no, no. I don't think they're good, well-designed puzzles. Non-boxy, palisade, motion. Well, let's just start with what I know in this area before I start looking at all this. I just know that. The only place where the wall is here. Let's make this a little brighter. There we go. That's all that I care about at the moment. That's got to all be separate. So we got to have something separate there and there. I can move that in just fine. Oh, our straightaways right there. That's for sure. That's taken care of. Can I make that there? I can. I just can't do that or that. This brighter, please. There we go. That's got to go. We've got to have this come out, but it could be part of the green. I don't know. Can this go? Yeah, it can just totally be there. This, who knows? We have the same thing as before. If we do one of these, the corner piece from here obviously is a different set, and it's a different set with a corner like that. Because this piece takes 2 of the 4, all the other pieces must be solo cells. So that's got to be like that. We have to have a corner this way, which means we have to block both of these pieces because we need a separate piece to make this watchtower work. If this straightaway is up and down, it's got to be blue. If it's side to side, it's got to be yellow. Either way, it's attached to this one of these 2 shapes. If this is part of cyan, we're screwed because it can't be part of yellow. The yellow can't be attached here. So if this attaches in, we've got 3 regions, so it's actually got to attach to one of these others. It can't be this one because now this watchtower is broken. It can't be this one because now this corner's broken. So I believe we got to block that. What else do I know? Got 3. Let's find something going on here. These 2 could attach to each other, or they could be separate. Don't really know. If I made the... this has to be this way. I should have looked at the watchtower. This has to be that way. Because if I make this go up, then I have 2 separate regions here. Can't do that. So this is in fact how this works. So now this needs to be blue and this needs to be blue so that we have just 2 regions on either side. So either both of these are yellow or both of these are blue. And it has to be blue because this watchtower over here, of course. What's over here? Something's over there. Non-boxy, I remember that. Non-boxy means I can't have I can't have a new region here. This piece can't be a new region because that's going to be a box. So that's got to go here. This can't be a new region for the same reason. All of these for the same reason. So I've got to do this here and that. That's the only way I can do this so it's non-boxy. Again, so I can't do this because it's boxy. So I have to block these. I have to have 3 regions. So if this is a new region, I have to bring it around and we have a problem. So this is part of blue. This region has to come out this way, and now this has to come that way. I think we're going to have to bend this guy up there. This got to come down. Do I bring this here? Like something like that? No, this is going to work. Hold on. If I bring this here, we're in trouble. That's got to be blocked. So this piece has to go like that, which means I'm this way? Yeah, that way. That's cool. I like that one. Dang. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Gilded window. That was just way worse than it needed to be. And like, this game is already so large. There's over 1,000 puzzles in it. It's already so large that we're not missing anything if you take out the stupid ones. Why? So like, why is there so many of these in here? Was every single idea just put in the game? I don't know. It ends up with a subpar experience. You just end up with a subpar experience if you do that. I don't get it. I want to like this game more than I do, but I can't. It just has to be a middle-of-the-road, mediocre puzzle game. That's really all we can say. All right, bye.